Hey Daisy, what are you doing down there? You don't like your new haircut? We like your new haircut. Now, I didn't put you in the video yesterday, and I had people asking me where you were. Well, you were getting ready for your haircut. We're gonna have to show everyone what it looks like when you decide to get up. Let's say hi to Piper. She was very happy to see you in the last video, or 2 videos ago. Oh boy, you're wiped out. Daisy gets traumatized. Oh, here she comes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at her right there. Hey Daisy, we got something in the mail. It just came in. What is it? What is it? About time my ring light showed up. Awesome. This will be number 2. If you missed my video on the importance of using a ring light, definitely check that out, because it really can help your photos pop big time and make those big money sales. Hey everyone, we're back here at Primetime Treasure headquarters. I've got a bunch of great sales to show you soon, and also a big shipping project that we're going to work on together. But before I do that, I've got a poster pull I've got to do for Chris Gatwood, so thanks for writing in about that, Chris. And I've got a cool magic photo. It's a signed one that I got from that magician's estate sale that I want to list as well. So I want to take advantage of the sunlight and make sure we could get some good photos here. So this one is the one that I pulled out. It's Walter Cummings. Now you might say, who the heck is Walter Cummings? Because he's definitely not a household name, but within the magic community, he actually is well known. He's listed on the website Magicpedia, and there's a bunch of other websites that talk about him as well. He's from the New York area. He spent a bunch of time in Utica, New York, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from me here in Syracuse. I love this because it is signed to Bob Gibbons, and he's holding these cards. Now, Bob Gibbons is the magician whose house that I went to at the estate sale, and he was also a magician. But it's cool that he's holding the cards because his nickname was the Prince of Cards. He served in World War II. He entertained troops in World War II. And he's also known for teaching at the famous Chavez Studio of Magic, or the Chavez College of Magic. It has a bunch of different names, but and he went there as well. So, again, he's well known in the community. So either someone is going to recognize him from within the community when I list this, or someone might just be inspired by the story. I might tell a little bit about him in the description and maybe pick it up for that reason. But there we go. That's Walter Cummings, folks. And then let's get to that Indiana Jones poster that Chris wants me to pull out. All right, so Chris zoomed in on this one right here, this Indiana Jones one. So gonna pull this one out and check out what it looks like here. Let's see if we could tell anything from the side. Not really. So again, if anyone wants a poster pull, just let me know. I'll pull it out and give you a shout out in the video, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so here it is, Chris. This is the Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull poster. I really like this one. I think this one is better than the other one that I pulled out. I love the flame skull in the background. It's really cool how, Indiana Jones just standing there on that stairway there. It's just, it's pretty neat. I really like this one. That is probably around a $13 poster. It's 34 by 22 inches. You can see I have the measuring tape there. I like to include that in the listings for frame of reference for people. And then I also take a picture without the measuring tape next to it, just so they could get a clear shot. Now, I do suggest when you're outsourcing to make sure that you have a measuring tape with you. It doesn't have to be as big as this, just a small one that you carry around with you. I keep that in my blue bag, because if you're looking for original movie size posters, then what you're looking for are dimensions of 27 by 40. That's the standard. This clearly is not that. So again, make sure you take that measuring tape with you. All right, so remember I said that we have a big project to work on? Well, that big project is packing up that old Milwaukee sign that I showed you the other day. In fact, you can see it right down there. That actually sold to Pink Elephant Limited. She purchased it for $85. She saw it in my shed, and it's something that was hanging out there for a while. I knew I had some work to do on it, had to peel some stickers off, and had to get some stubborn chalk off of that thing. So if you missed the video that was entitled How to Remove Stubborn Chalk Off of a Chalkboard, you've got to see it. I mentioned that in terms of maybe missing it because if YouTube does not think that the title of the video is within the genre of my channel, they won't put it in a lot of people's feeds. So that's one of the annoying things that they do that I feel holds back creators. But you know what? If I think that I have a topic that's of interest to you, I'm going to still put it out there even if I don't think the title is going to get a lot of views. Plus, there's a lot of other interesting reselling information in that video and a pretty funny Darth Vader skit in the beginning. So go check it out if you missed it. But anyway, we've got to get to this sign. We've got to pack it up, and we have got to find a proper size box for it or make a custom box. We're going to work on that right now. So one box that would have been perfect is the ring light box that came in, but of course, Murphy's Law, it is just short. See that? Just by a few inches there. Oh well. All right, so this is kind of cool. We're going to do our first ever project in the shed together. So looking forward to this one. So as I just showed you, it could be really difficult sometimes to find a perfectly sized box for a big item like this. I mean, this is 31 inches long, so it's pretty big. So if you can't find a box that exactly matches the dimensions of what you have, then what you need to do is you need to create a Franken Box. And I'm going to show you how to do that with something like a sign without making it absolutely ginormous, but still safe, and it's going to protect this item very well. So what you want to do, it's sort of a variation of the primetime sandwich technique that I've shown before, where you're layering something between multiple pieces of cardboard. However, since this is a sign and it is made of breakable pieces, we've got wood on here that could snap, although it's pretty solid wood, but the main concern is that we have this glass here. So we have to really make sure that the cardboard is sturdy. I mean, we do that anyway with the other items that are shipped out, but especially so with this case, if you're going to use this technique that I'm going to show you here. So what you have to do is you've got to get a really solid, strong piece of cardboard. Like, you could see how thick this is when it folds over. Now, it's supposed to be a regular box. Like, this is something that a computer would have been shipped in. Like, that's the type of box it is, that type of thickness. So what you're going to do is you're just going to fold it like this, like it's the letter L, and you're going to take your item and you're going to put it right up top here like this and see if it would fully fit within the cardboard and also have some margin room to spare. So let me show you. I'll bring you a little close-up of it to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's what's going to be the top part of our flap, and then we're going to push this in like that, and you're going to see that it fits real nicely onto there. We've got some margin here to play with, and we've got some margin space over here to play with, and we've got some over here. So this gives us a little protection zone. So then what you can see, just to test out if this is going to work, you press it down and you see, okay, is this going to fold over good? It is. Now, it's not going to completely cover it. Sometimes it will. If so, that's great. But if not, don't fret. There's just another creative solution that we have to use to join these two pieces together, which we'll do that a little bit later. But for now, at least we know we're set with a nice, solid, strong base. And as I turn this around here, you could see that this is really strong. I mean, look at that. Look how thick that is, and it's really solid. Okay, this is what you want to give it that protection. The advantage of this technique is going to be that we are going to have a box that is really the minimum size, which is going to help us out with shipping, yet it's still going to protect it really well. But what we have to do now is we need to protect this glass, and we need to wrap this thing up. So we're going to use some bubble wrap for that. So for this part, what we want to use are large bubbles. You can see how big the bubbles are, and we want to make sure they are facing down, facing towards the item that we want to protect. So we're just going to connect those together with some bubble wrap pieces that are going to go around here and onto the back. Now, one of the things to keep in mind if you have raised wood like this on the frame is that when you bring the bubble wrap around like this, it's going to raise it in the air, which means you're gonna need to put another layer of bubble wrap right underneath it, because we do need something pressing right up against that glass to keep it safe. Okay, so what I wound up doing is I put 2 layers of bubble wrap here on top of this. So that's gonna keep it nice and protected, because actually we're gonna have a total of 3 now. Do a test with the flap, just make sure it's gonna close good, and it is. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna just take that large bubble wrap and wrap the rest of the board around that way. Okay, so as you can see, this thing is entombed in large bubble wrap. This is not going to get damaged. In fact, I'm so confident in that I could literally stick a shipping label on this and I think that it would get there okay. I'm not gonna do that, and I don't recommend doing that. I'm just saying this is really secure. So we have 3 layers of large bubbles, not only covering the glass, but also covering the chalkboard, because remember, chalkboards can crack, so we don't want that to happen. Now, it's not enough to just put some bubble wrap on it and then just take a couple pieces of tape and tape it onto there and think that it's gonna be okay, because it's not. It's gonna fall off, it's gonna crumble during transport. So you need to make sure that you are taking a tape gun and you are taping this tight. Tight is key with packing tape. I highly suggest for large projects like this, where you're using big pieces, that you get yourself a 3-inch tape gun and 3-inch tape, obviously. It's gonna save you a world of time, because you could just go real quick and cover large areas, not only here, but also when you're boxing it up. I use it all the time for all sorts of projects. So if you don't have one, you are going to thank me, I promise you. It is a small investment. The link is down below to this in the description section. I use Tape King, and this is Uline for the tape gun. Definitely the best tape gun. Don't get a cheap tape gun. It's worth paying for this one. I have a couple of them laying around. So make sure when you tape it up, by the way, that you're taping it up in both directions. You're going vertically with it, and then you're crisscrossing horizontally with it. That is also going to give it maximal protection. This thing should just be completely tight in 3 layers of bubble wrap. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to connect this gap here with another piece of cardboard. I have a strong piece of cardboard that is exactly this size. So I just had to trim some few pieces around it. And what I'm gonna do is just slide it in over the top, which is great because that gives another layer of protection. And then I'm just gonna bend this piece of cardboard down and underneath that piece right here. So if you want, you could just lift this up like this, then just pull this down, then you tuck it in like this, and once you've got it right where you want it, put a piece of tape to hold it in place. Okay, so now the tape is holding this in place. In fact, I put multiple pieces down, and we're gonna pull this down now. And don't worry, yeah, that's gonna bring this up a little bit, but it doesn't matter because we have that to protect it. Then we're just gonna push this in a little bit more, and we're gonna connect all of this together now. So it's real important for this next part, when you're making this connection with the tape and bridging everything together, that you're using strong, high quality tape, and that you're also pulling it over and under with force and pressure, because you don't want this to come apart. Pull it in just like that. And just go down the strip. Now what this does is it basically creates this bay window type of effect, in which it really creates this nested level of protection. So you've got that on this side and also on this side. You see that type of shape right there?
where we've got it kind of oblong like this. This is exactly what you are looking for, where you've got that little diagonal kind of wedged out corner, that like almost like a whale shark. You ever see a whale shark? It goes and scoops up all the plankton. That's exactly what you want. So what I've got here are just some strips of cardboard from when I cut down that box that went within it to nest it. And so what I'm just gonna do is just layer it over like this, kind of like what you saw me do when I created the custom boxes for the comic books, and just trim it down to size and just tape it over nice and tight on both sides. Now, if you're wondering how I get these nice corners like this to be customized, it's very simple. I'll show you. So here you go. You've just got like a little overhang like that. No problem. Just take your scissor, run flush against it like that. There you go. Okay, so this side is all done. And this side is all done. Next thing is just examine the box. Look for any noticeable flaws that could be a potential problem. In this case, we've got some exposed cardboard here. So all we're gonna do is a little touch up here. Just take a little cutout piece of cardboard, go right over that, and we're set. Okay, so there we go, patched up, all set. The very last step is we're gonna give it one tape around on all of the ends just to make everything come together nice and secure. Okay, so here is the final version. Very, very strong. I'm very happy how this all came out. And now it's time to ship it off to Christina from Pink Elephant Limited. I hope that you enjoy this, and I can't wait till you get it. Okay, a few final sales to wrap up the evening. I already pulled them off of the merchandise shelf because it's 12:45 in the morning and I still have some other things I have to do. So these two right here sold together. These are Syracuse Orange basketball related DVDs. This one here celebrates top 20 moments. This one here celebrates the run to the 2003 championship. $15.50. They are out the door. Cave Carson right here. Cave Carson, not a title you should particularly know or necessarily be on the lookout for. I obtained both of these in a comic book haul that I got off of Craigslist. They sold as volume 1 and 2 together. Their trade paperback sold for $15. So this sold for $13, and it's just a Family Circle magazine. It's an old one here. You got old recipes and stuff. People look for this. They like this type of stuff. So don't pass these up. I actually got this as just part of a big estate sale lot. So happy to get it out the door. But fellas, listen, it's real important. Put stuff in your store that are women's interest items. If you only sell guy things, then you're going to cut out 50% of the gender that's looking for stuff for them. Yeah, they might come in and buy something as a gift, but you want to have something that appeals to, you know, both genders in your store. That's why, like, for example, I have these that I just listed today. These are purple and yellow butterfly wall hangings. They're like these little pegs, and you could put them, there's a lot of 3 of them, and you could just, you know, put your towels on them. You know, they're for like a girl's room, girl's bathroom. You know, you could hang like jewelry on it if you want. You could do a lot of things with these. Speaking of girls and speaking of the ladies, we've got this Snow White print here. This is through the Grimm Fairy Tale line, and they basically take famous storybook characters and fairy tale characters and just kind of turn them into an adult version, you know, things that guys would generally like. If Snow White looked like that when I was younger, I definitely would have been watching a lot more Disney movies. So this one sold for 25 bucks. This print is out the door. That leaves one poster left to look at here, and this is, I've talked about the title before, and I have talked about the artist before. He has now passed away. He's deceased. Michael Turner. So if you ever see anything Michael Turner and Fathom related, definitely pick it up. Here is this really cool poster right here. No nudity or anything like that, but you know, he has these basically bikini models a lot on his covers. This one sold for $21. So overall, it was an awesome day. I hope you enjoyed seeing the finds, hearing some little tips and tricks here and there, and hope especially that you learned something from me packing up that customized box, and that maybe you will venture off this year and pick up a sign or pick up a long thin item like that and give it a try, and you could see you can make some good profit on it. Yeah, you got to put a little work into these items sometime, but it pays off in the end. So I hope you liked it all, everybody, and I will see you at the next video. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you at the next one, everyone. Take care.